In tonight's in-depth topic, we're talking about something pretty heavy and one I've put a lot of consideration into because one thing I do believe, regardless of the topic, words matter. And according to the research on this topic, it's a matter of saving lives. So let's go in depth. As you probably know, as you've been watching WRAL, 7 students have died by suicide this year at NC State. 7. A school of about 35,000 students total. 2 students died last week on the same day. I mean, statistically, that is a lot, if that's what you were thinking. About twice as many as you'd expect from that same age and population size. Humanely, even 1 is an absolute tragedy that unleashes untold amounts of misery and pain for so many people. These stories have been very difficult to cover, and not only because of the obvious reasons, but also because for most of my career, we simply didn't report on suicide. I'm dating back to journalism school. I was always taught about suicide contagion. Have you heard about this? Described by the American Association of Suicidology as the process by which 1 or more suicides increases the risk of suicidal behavior in others, and simply saying that talking about it could be bad for other people. It's a theory that dates back to the late 1700s called the Werther effect, fears surrounding a novel called The Sorrows of Young Werther, which detailed a character's suicide. The book became very popular. Police started investigating possible copycat suicides, and the book was then banned in many countries throughout Europe. That was 250 years ago, and again, for most of my career, dating back less than 20, we just didn't cover them, which may explain why generally the media has been pretty bad at covering high-profile deaths. Columbia University finding that suicide spiked 10% after Robin Williams died in 2014. And researchers looked at that even closer, and they figured out that the specific way that Williams died, that spiked 32%. The American Psychological Association shared findings that, quote, the media likely played a role in approximately 10% of suicide deaths of people younger than 25, either by giving youth the idea to kill themselves or by providing youths already contemplating suicide with information about a specific method. Perhaps one of the saddest findings is that even honoring a person who has died by suicide can harm others. I interviewed Professor Jonathan Singer from Loyola in Chicago, an expert in the field and former president of the American Association of Suicidology, who recommends that memorials at schools or on the news or even on your Facebook page should be short and temporary.
So it was this sense of glorifying the person and the death in a way that I think in the moment felt like it was building community. But for anybody who was thinking, well, nobody likes me now, maybe they'll love me if I'm dead, that can actually increase suicide risk.
So what are we supposed to do here? Ignore these stories, not talk about them? Well, no. You remember we did try that for a long time, and that didn't work either. Instead, the consensus now from experts says you just have to be careful with your words. And again, this doesn't just apply to me on the news. This means Facebook and Instagram or whatever social media platform you use or your kids use. They say never describe a method or a location, ever. Never describe the contents of a note. Don't describe personal details about the person who died, which will be difficult to follow if you lose someone who you love. Don't try to explain their motive or speculate about their motive. The list goes on and on. You can find these recommendations really with a simple search on Google. I recommend that you do that. But even then, it's unclear how much even that will help, which can leave you feeling quite helpless. Because we do want answers. We want solutions. What are we doing wrong so that we can fix it and make this better? That's essentially what I asked Dr. Singer, and he told me this.
I will say that we don't know. There is no good answer for why suicide rates go up and why they go down.
So, we don't know. At the end of it all, we don't know. So I'll leave you with the best recommendations I could find. Talk to your kids and your friends and your siblings. Be a good listener. Encourage people to use the resources that have proven to help save lives. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline has proved very helpful and is always available by just calling 988. But that's just a first step, a first call for a lot of people. So you can also find local resources right here in North Carolina, right in your area, by searching Get Help on our website, WRAL.com. Now, if you think there's something else I should be mentioning here, please let me know. If you have some questions that you think the media ignores, or maybe something you're too afraid to say or ask in public, I'll protect your, I won't mention your name on TV. I'm a safe space. There are no bad questions here. I will get your questions to our experts. So email me at dan@wral.com. Tell me what's on your mind, and we'll go in depth.